What's up? What's up? I'm back. I'm about to get into it. I got a few things I want to talk about. I was just hopping to it. I was cooking and I was just looking at the shit and it just started settling in. Brother Panic, Auset and Ausar, um, Bobby. I mean Bobby Hemming talk about it. They all talk about this black mass coming back. I talk about it. I talked about how the day that Earth stood still, they had the black mass that came back. Um, Last Thanos movie or Avengers movie, his people was the Black Order. All his children name was like Dark Maul, the Raven, like all black names and shit like that. Um, the Spider-Man movie, of course, where Venom is so powerful, like it's a symbiote type shit, where it's something that you really can't take off, like in the sense of a change or whatever. But there's a lot of movies that talk about the black mass or this dark forces or dark lords coming back. Like the dark lords talked about was talked about in the movie Bright. But yeah, it's everywhere. And I'm gonna talk about how the unripe fruit. Pretty much, I'm getting into the physical and tying in fruit, like I said to. I don't know if I ever said it in this video, but I was just cooking and pretty much looking at the green beans. You see how the black shit come on it, and it's like, oh damn, you just start thinking like, all right, they've been talking about it, and you just start really formulating ideas, and it finally just stuck with me. Like, damn, bro, all these vegetables, all these fruit, finally, like you realize it. Like it's a simple thought, but the other thoughts that come from it start kind of being more revelation for me, and it's like this ripe fruit all once it's done being ripe, once it goes through that peak that you consider in this physical, it goes through this next metamorphosis where the scientists will say that the sugar is rising, but I call it the melanin is rising, and that's the next phase. Like in this illusion, like it was good in this ripe phase, and we might eat it when it's ripe, but it has probably more nutrients once you go back to that or to that next step of the right before death, in a sense. Or our interpretation of death, where it's not that same physical thing anymore, where it's like mold or something like that. But that mold is literally new life. So hey, there goes my example. And just our perspective from it is just totally different. But to get to the unripe fruit ruling the world, like if you think about it, Brother Panic talked about everybody's a rising star or a falling star, and the whole thing with them is like these ripe fruit has been claiming that they have all the juice, and they don't, bro. Like they're pretty much taking everybody else's juice and claiming it as their own. And when you start picking apart the layers, you start to see how they don't have none of this shit that they say they have, and how it's really been lied about, and how only reason they even can say they have these things is because they use one thing, which was the sword and colonization. If you look at white people or the white colonies, like they've never survived without invasion or expansion. Like always had to go take over other places. It just was who they were, because they didn't even like if somebody else had power and they was like close to their border or something, they feel like they got to go to war with them just because it's a possibility that it might be a fight instead of being diplomatic. And the reason I say white people are unripe is because they lack compassion. And there's been many a scientific data show that they're not empathetic towards people of race, or I mean people of color, or melanated. And it just go to their lack of experience, their lack of understanding, their lack of wisdom, and their lack of juice. Like just being funny, like bro, they're unripe. So they're even when you taste them, bro, they're either hella sour or like they're just hella bitter. Like they're one thing, they're one track minded, they're narrow. Versus when you taste a fruit that's full of substance, full of nutrient, it might have a bunch of different flavors. It might have sweet, sour, tangy, all different type of things. Because like when you look at melanated people, we have rhythm, we have culture, we have all these things. And you can say they took black people culture away and said, and I used to talk about this, do black people have culture? Our understanding of culture, yes, we do have culture. Like in a sense of we create new shit every fucking day that we as the black people use, and it might not be a benefit or a great culture to build the foundation on, but we still have cultures. Versus how they took everything we had away from us and we still can create new shit. Versus they always constantly capitalizing, colonizing, and trying to pretty much take over shit. And even if they say something, bro, their actions is truly what they are. Like Christians and all these things, that crusades, thou shalt not kill, remember? Like, no, they still go to war whenever they think it's due and whenever they think it's right. And it just go to show, like, they're not what they say they are. That's because they've taken other people's ideas of life, other people's ideas of doing things, and tried to implement it as their own and called themselves elite, call themselves the morally correct, and that's why they think they're the ultimate judges and they could be lawyers and this they shit and all that. They just feel morally right because they literally took everything in a sense of in some confidence bullshit. And I'm gonna read some quotes talking about this. See if I missed anything. Like, bro, we've been here. Like, if we were a fallen star, we became unripe. And I'm going to read a quote about that too. Like, we became unripe and we've been here a while trying to become ripe again. And through that process, we've faced unripe things, and their judgment and their lack of vibration and shit like that. And that's a part of our whole our process. It's a part of our destruction and waking up, in a sense. Let's see. Everybody's a falling star, a rising star, yeah. Yeah, bro, they warmongers from what's the name, Napoleon to Hitler. Whenever they get power, bro, they're trying to expand as quick as possible because, I mean, they're like a virus, bro. That's literally what they are, in the sense of their vibration is a virus. Their vibration is parasitic because they don't know how to be anything else. They haven't learned to grow out of that shit. There's a phase they will have to learn from. And you could say they'll learn compassion and they can learn all these things because when we truly wake up, they'll know how compassionate we really was toward their ass. And that's honestly the truth. They'll be so shook on all that pride they thought they had. Because a lot of people today don't really know, where they come from. And you just as evil in the sense of the people that do know where they come from and still choose to take part. And this kind of go to like white people that be like, well, I'm compassionate, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, you are. But your people not, and you need to separate from your people if you're really trying to make gains. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, when you be talking about compassion, you talk about peace, you come into the black community and trying to figure it out with us. Like, I have many white people in my DMs, many white people that follow us, because we always talking about wise shit versus all these other people talking about capitalism and all that other things like that. So, I mean, if you feel like, if you wake up and see your people done wrong, yeah, that's cool, but you got to realize, like, nah, bro, we're not about to be peaceful with all your people. Yeah, you might be cool, nigga, but look, as the masses, bro, y'all got a whole nother thing coming. And you need to separate yourself from the masses. If you feel like you're a part of that mass that I'm talking about, then, hey, be that. But you got to understand. And I'm getting to some of the quotes that I found. And this is just going, I'm going to read a couple different quotes. Let's get, I got a little time left. Hurry up now. I ain't got that much time. All right. This is Jaws 15:33. He shall shake off his unripe grapes as the vine shall cast off his flower of the olive. And look, if you, like I said, if you're with them people, just like how black people, bro, we got to separate ourselves from our people because they're so broken, they're so lost. Y'all got to separate y'all people because y'all so warmongering. Y'all got to separate from y'all people because y'all so warmongering, so lost, and so low vibrational. And like we on our different paths. Like our separation comes through growth. Y'all separation come through, y'all better do that shit. Like we need to in order to get a bigger picture because we'll just be like, we'll stay broken in a sense. Just like how y'all stay in y'all. Well, your people will stay in their confident and arrogant ways, like their Trump mentality. All right, I'm gonna go to Obadiah 1:1. Obadiah. This is the vision of the sovereign Lord revealed by Obadiah concerning the land of Edom. And Edomites, I talk about is like Esau. That's the white people. We'll get into it with the more of them. So y'all, the quotes will kind of express themselves, and you'll see where you stand. We have heard the message from the Lord and the ambassador. We have sent the nations to say, get ready, everyone. Let's assemble our armies and attack Edom. If you look at the nations, a lot of nations are teaming up and starting to be like, hey, man, we can't be allies with America. This bullshit. And that's just reality. I'm just going through it. Obadiah 1 and 2. See, I will make you small among the nations, and you will be utterly despised. or greatly despised. It's different translations. Obadiah 1 and 3. I really don't have to explain that one. He's just bringing you down from what you thought you used to be. You have been deceived by your own pride because you live under a rock and a fortress and make your home high in the mountains. Who can ever reach us way up here? You ask boastfully. You do. Y'all build y'all either y'all build underground or y'all build y'all what do you call skyscrapers, and y'all just think y'all the shit in them little condos, little $12,000 condos, stupid ass prices, like whatever. 1 and 4, Obadiah 1 and 4. But even if you soar as high as the eagles and build your nest among the stars, I will bring you crashing down, says the Lord. Next, Obadiah 1 and 5. If thieves came in the night and robbed you, what a disaster awaits you. They would not take everything. Those who harvest the grapes always leave a few for the poor, but your enemies will wipe you out completely. You deserve it. Like I said, I'm not even going to get into who is who, but there's two energies that's being talked about. Well, it's more than two energies. There's the energies of the outside, and there's the energies of these prideful people. You tell me who you are. Obadiah 1 and 6. Every nook and cranny of Edom will be searched and looted, and every treasure will be found and taken. God's children will be removed, even though we were placed here for certain reasons. Once we wake up, once we become ripe enough, become those just becoming ripe enough. I ain't even got to get into it that much. Obadiah 1 and 7. All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. You can say that to Korea. Like, they allying up together. China, Russia, they trying to be cool with Trump, but nah. Well, not China, but Russia was, pretending to be cool, but Russia really with China and all that other shit. You trust your friends and they will set trust for you, and you won't even know about it because you're so prideful and dumb. Trump think he got everything figured out, and the people that's behind that energy of America, hey, even when y'all think Trump can be out of office and y'all think y'all can fix it. No, bro. This system is trash. Stop trying to fix it. That's y'all problem now. Obadiah 1 and 8. At this time, not a single wise person will be left in the land of Edom, says the Lord. For on the mountains of Edom I will destroy everyone who has understanding. Because why? Either you were a part of it and didn't get out, or you were a part of it and chose to stay, like, in a sense of like you knew about it, or you were blind. It's a bunch of different reasons. The mightiest warriors of Timnah will be terrified, and every one of the mountains of Edom will be cut down in the slaughter. Like I said, once they see how we go, like, y'all gonna see how compassionate we really been this whole time. Cause it really could have been popped off like that. Y'all been sealed y'all faith. Honestly, this shit was wrote how long ago, and it still compares to today. Like, honestly. Obadiah 1 and 10. Because of the violence you did your close relatives in Israel, you will be filled of shame and destroyed forever. Oh, that's why I said they rather be fallen stars, because they have a different path. They don't want to go through these lessons. They don't think there's other ways out of it. So they rather act like they're the chosen ones. They rather act like the Jews. They rather act like the Israelites. That's why you got a lot of white people acting like these things. But once you start asking them who are the real people, they'll tell you. Israelite means Isis, Ra-El. Isis is the black goddess. Genesis, we talked about it, beginning of Isis seed. Isis, Ra-El, Elohim is all gods known and unknown. Ra is the masculine version. Isis is the feminine version. They create gods, which are Elohims. Israel, that's what that is. That's the black genealogy and how we are created and how we create. They want to act like they're that, but it's a lie. When they were invaded, you stood aloof, refusing to help them. Foreigners invaded, carried off their wealth, and cast lots, divided them up in Jerusalem, and acted like one of Israel's enemies. And pretty much cast lots, that's like sold us into slavery and shit like that. Obadiah 1 and 12. This is going to be my last one probably. Before I might make another video just to finish it off. You should not have gloated when you exiled your relatives to your distant lands. You should not have rejoiced when the people of Judah suffered from misfortune. You should not have spoken arrogantly in the terrible times of trouble. Y'all just tell us to, hey, pick up our bootstraps. You're lazy. Not acknowledging whatever happened to us. Let's see if I get one more off. Isaiah 113. You should not have plundered the lands of Israel when they were suffering in such calamity. You should not have gloated over their destruction when they were suffering in such calamity. You should not have seized their wealth when they were suffering in such calamity. Y'all took advantage of our losses instead of trying to help us. And now you get to see what path you took.